Today on Everyday Tinkerer we will be talking about bikes. Practical solutions to the first world problems by the Everyday Tinkerer. A few years ago I was very much into mountain biking. I was training a lot. It has changed over time, and recently I have decided that it's high time to go back to the old routine of having some trainings over the weekend. And as I like gear very much and I like to buy new stuff, I've bought this beauty. So this is an old Felt from 2008. Actually, I've bought it new, so it was kept in some kind of a storage. Nobody wanted to buy it for a very simple reason. Well, it's a single speed. Right, so actually in Poland not many people are into single speed biking, especially for mountain bikes. So nobody wanted to buy it, and this is a model from 2008. But when it has arrived 2 months ago, it was a brand new stuff. I like it very much. It rides very well. It has a Reba front suspension fork. It has a very nice aluminium fork, and you may ask why I wanted to buy a single speed. Well, first of all, I wanted to check out how does it work in the area like here. Like there are not many hills and not many uphills, not many downhills. I'm also commuting to work on the fixed gear single speed, but of course the city one, so on a slicks and on a frame with a completely different geometry. So I liked it very much. But then I thought to myself, okay, maybe it would be good to start competing in some of the amateur MTB marathons that are happening around, as I used to do it. And my first reaction was, okay, for fun, as I'm not that fit as I used to be. I thought that maybe for funsies, I will use this one. I will compete on a single speed. But the problem is it works great on a gravel, it works great off-road, but when you have to go on the asphalt, well, then it's undergeared, right? So you could not even try to compete with the guys who have derailleurs. So I thought to myself, okay, Paweł, maybe you can spend a lot of money and buy yourself Rochloff Speed Hub. You know, the one very expensive one, which actually is capable of sustaining the power that you exert on it during the mountain bike rides. Build yourself a second wheel, and when you need to shift, when you need gears, if you are going into the mountains or you want to compete, put the wheel in the back, and you are golden. But first of all, the Rochloff is prohibitively expensive. The second of all, mounting it into the frame and then taking it off, it's not that easy. Actually, this frame is modified for a single speed, so actually you do not have all this fancy stuff that you could route your cables in. You have only one for the brakes, and that's it. So I would need to go with some zip ties, some ghetto solutions, which I wouldn't like that much, and it would be cumbersome, you know. And as I said, it would be completely prohibitively expensive. So I thought, okay, maybe let's try to have some of simplicity of the single speed, kind of, and have some gears. Actually not spending a lot of money, so I reminded myself that actually I've got this beauty. I will show you this in a minute. This is a 2006 Gary Fisher Tassaraja. And maybe I can simplify it somehow, modify it. So it's a little bit more simple, but still have gears, and do it all within the budget. So in a second I will show you how I have achieved this. This is Gary Fisher Tassaraja that I've bought, oh boy, it was almost 10 years ago. Time flies by. I was riding it a little bit, also in the mountains, and well, I do not find it very comfortable, but it was there in my garage, so I thought to myself, okay, maybe we can simplify it. Right now, a huge trend that you can observe, especially in the trial bikes, is going to 1x10, 11 drivetrains. Right, I wanted to make it on a budget, so my option was to go 1x9, because already I had 9 gears on the back, and the modification was seemed to be quite simple. So I just need to remove the chain rings from the front, that many of these, and put something here, something better. So you may ask, Why I did not keep this one? Well, it's 32, so so it was apparent that it would not be comfortable enough for me. It wouldn't give me the range that I need. I needed something like 34 or 36 cogs. Sorry, 34 or 36 teeth on the chain ring. So I had to buy a new one. You cannot see it; it's here. Like it's a chain ring from Dartmoor. It's a model called Trial, right? And I've chosen it also because it's a narrow wide kind of a chain ring. So this kind of a simple technical solution actually reduces the risk of the chain falling off during the ride. And I wanted to avoid a necessity of installing a chain guide somewhere here, because I wanted to keep it simple. And actually I did not disassemble something like this to put something similar, because most of the chain guides that you can mount here and are applicable for cross country look kind of similar to the front derailleurs. So I've disassembled this. I have stick a new chain ring here. And you can see that I have also decided to go with a chain guard. And you may laugh, because chain guard is the solution mostly used by the guys who ride mountain trails to protect the chain, but also to protect the chain ring, but also to protect your own calves, right? So you are not hurting yourself and you are not getting dirty from the chain. In my case, I have used it also to keep the chain from falling here. Right, so I thought that this may be a good solution. This was also an aesthetic choice, because if I did not use it, you could see this. You could see that actually this crankset was designed for free chain rings in the front, and on the top of this, I would need to also buy new bolts and nuts. This one. Right, because remember, when you are doing the conversion to 1x9, you need to, and you do not want to put anything here. You are putting your chain ring in the middle, because it gives you the best chain line. Then you need to buy a shorter bolts here, so they do not bottom out before they can properly fix the chain ring to the crankset. You can find a lot of videos on the YouTube on how to do such a conversion. So what I've added to this usual set of advices is actually to use chain guard. To first of all avoid the need to buy new bolts and nuts, additionally to reduce the risk of the chain falling off. And as I said, if you use narrow wide, the chain should not be falling off, and probably you can avoid installing a chain guide here or here, depending on your choice. So how did it work? Well, surprisingly well. After the race, I have heard people complaining that they had their chain falling off numerous times. It has not happened even once to me. I did not have any problems with this. The only problem that I had was that actually there was an unpleasant surprise from the organizers of the race that I took part in, and there were very long parts of the trail which were on the asphalt. And I would love to have this 42 at these times, because I was a little bit undergeared. So the smallest gear that I have in the back is 11 cogs, and the combination 34 and 11 in the back did not give me enough leverage to actually stay competitive with other guys on the asphalt. You may ask, Paweł, so if you do not have a lot of hills around, why you have not used a bigger chain ring, like 36? So there is yet another watch out for all of you that would like to go with such a conversion. Check your frame, because in my case, the way that this fork is shaped prohibits me from using anything bigger than 34 in the front in the middle position, right? So there would not be enough space here. Actually, I've bought 2 chain rings just to check if for sure I'm not able to use 36, because I knew that for the area that I'm usually riding, the 36 in the front would be very much okay, but it was not possible. So yet another watch out for all of you guys. Do I recommend such a shift? Well, for me it was experiment. I like tinkering, you know that, it's in the name of the channel actually. And I could get rid of all this stuff, so you know, shifters, the rails, 3 chain rings, so I have only 1 instead of 3. I like how the cockpit looks right now, it's much more simple, so it's nice. For me it was worth. I will keep it, I will keep riding like this. Right now I'm using the whole range that I have in the back more efficiently. The problem for all of you cadence freaks, well, of course there is a bigger problem with keeping up the constant cadence. So in general, this is a tinkering that I've done recently, and check it out. In the description of the video, I will put 2 very useful links. The first one would be about removing your crankset and identifying what kind of crankset do you have, because maybe you would need additional tools. I will show you. Maybe you would need a tool to extract the crankset, but it may be that if you have a newer bike, you have a self-extracting crankset, so you do not need additional tools. So I will put a link to the video from the Park tool, which actually explains the different kinds of cranksets. And another important thing, another link that I will put is an article about converting your bike to 1 times something. So 1 times 9, 1 times 10, 1 times 11. Maybe in the future I will try to add a booster gear here, to have a very granny gear for mountain biking. We'll see. Right now it's kind of okay, and it brought a new life into the otherwise old bike. In the future, I plan to also tell you a little bit more about the modifications that I planned for the cockpit, because for now this kind of geometry is very uncomfortable for me, unfortunately. So I'm having a lot of pain in the back, which I do not experience riding the single speed felt that I've shown you at the beginning. So more things to come. And of course, I also plan to have more videos involving computers, PCs, electronics, and such, because this is how we have started. So thank you very much for this week, and keep up tinkering. Thank you guys. Bye.